Hello and welcome to Tech Britain TV. My name's Imran Azam, and today we're joined by Jim Murray, who is the founder of Troll Inc. here in, I was going to say sunny, Londonderry or Derry. Actually, let's clear this up. Londonderry or Derry? What's politically correct here?
The politically correct is Derry, Londonderry.
Derry, Londonderry.
It keeps everyone both just as happy and unhappy at the same time.
Right, okay, great. So here we are in Derry, Londonderry. And we're at CultureTECH, which is a unique event, which is running for the last couple of years. Combines tech with music and art. Is that right?
Pretty much, yeah. That's as good a description as any.
Right. There's a number of junior events going on, so this is about actually trying to involve the local community as well.
Yeah.
And really bring attention to Derry as a technology hub. Is that right?
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I mean, like, it's a case of bringing an area like Derry, which is kind of like a bit traditionally seen maybe a bit out in the wilderness, into showing that with technology that that doesn't have to be the case anymore.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about your organisation, Troll Inc. So what is it? You started in 2010. I understand you develop apps. Is that right?
We develop games for what originally mobile platforms, but we've moved on to console-based games as well. So our games are tend to be very user-friendly, family-oriented games. We've developed our first game was Jellyflug, which we released there back last year.
Jellyflug.
Jellyflug, yeah.
Okay, check it out, Jellyflug.
Yeah. It's a game where you play as a germ in the world of bacteria. So what you do is you play as Grash, he's a germ himself, and he has to find his way back to the bathroom. He's lost in the kitchen, so he travels from the kitchen to the kitchen sink, all the way into the human body, and back to the bathroom again.
Is this supposed to be educational?
To an extent, but it's more fun than educational.
Okay, I can see kids really liking this. So who's it aimed at? What age group?
It is aimed mostly at kids, but we have found from our statistics that a lot of more maybe the women in the ages of 30 to 50 seem to enjoy it as well. Not sure why though.
So it's discriminatory against men?
Yeah, it is, yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. It's one for feminism. Okay, so you're working on a number of apps at the moment. How does it you go about deciding on what makes a good app? I take it as quite a scientific and detailed.
Oh, yeah. And our strategy usually is we all get into a room and meet up, and it's usually whatever we fire out a lot of ideas, and whatever one we say is the least rubbish, we go along with after bad-mouthing all each other's ideas for a while. I wouldn't say there's a lot of statistics and stuff. It's usually kind of like, we're going to make a game over the next 6 months or so, and it's going to have to something we're all going to have to really like and get behind.
This goes against the religious principles of lean startup.
Yeah,
you do understand.
Yeah,
don't you?
That goes completely against it.
Okay, you're going with your gut. Yeah. We don't go with our gut anymore. We've got the stats to tell us what to do.
Yeah. We just try and get the stats afterwards and back up all our theories and principles.
That's when you go for investment, isn't it?
Yeah, that then too.
Okay, so this is a question that comes that all app developers really have to answer. It centers around marketing. So the App Store began 2007, 2008, and at the time, very new, very different. So the fact that you developed an app meant that you were probably going to get some traction. How many apps are there at the moment in the App Store?
There's millions.
There's millions, right? So it's like any other marketplace now, and you really need to be able to shine in order to get those downloads and to develop a commercial revenue. How do you go about that?
Well, our strategy was a lot in terms of like, it's probably somewhat traditional in terms of like we try to get in contact with many of the journalists through emails, through social networking, and just to try and get them on our side. We were learning a lot as we went because it was our first game, and we were with it we kind of realized a lot of kind of things we'll be doing with all our future games as well, in terms of like what we found that one of the key aspects that get people behind you is the earlier people know about your products, the better, because then you can build up traction and build up an audience behind your game. That's what we're taking forward with all our future products as well.
So what's the most creative thing you've done to get your product in front of a journalist?
Let's see. It's usually mostly pestering. And
you haven't sent like a barbershop quartet to sing outside their offices or anything?
No, but it's a possibility we might do in the future.
Okay, so it's really just a case of pestering.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what I hear all the time, which is, these guys have 10,000 unread emails in their inboxes. They obviously have huge influence, PR although we're talking about this new era, it's not really a new era, but this kind of sea change in the way that the digital landscape is affecting us all. It does seem to be that like the traditional means of getting the word out there still stands, doesn't it? It's all about PR.
Yeah, it's all about it. I mean, like we found one of the things that helped us a lot was keeping things short and simple because these people are busy. We would give them just all the statistics, all the things they need, and remove all the nonsense about this is all the marketing buzzwords, and then the journalist would actually take you a lot more credible as a result because you're basically, this is the information here, you can run this story.
You're working on another app at the moment, which is called Terramental. Tell us a bit about that.
Well, Terramentals is basically, we sum it up as Pokemon meets chess. So you have these monsters that you can collect called Terramentals, and what you do is you can place them on this kind of board, and you have to kind of defeat your opponent. Essentially, you can change the board's terrain by using your monster. So a fire monster can make a lava area, a water monster can make rivers, and it brings a whole lot of levels of interaction into the game. We're actually releasing the beta for that at the end of the month. Get some feedback, and we're hopefully releasing the full version of the game sometime in 2014.
Okay, all right, great. And what's your vision really for Troll? You told me off camera that you've got about 10 people working with you at the moment. You're based here in Derry. What's the idea? Are you just enjoying yourselves at the moment?
No, well, what we really want to do is we want to build up the company to a really strong, sustainable business that we can essentially experiment and create a lot of different varieties of game, possibilities and game mechanics, things that haven't been tried before, new ways of playing games and new ways of people who can interact with games that they wouldn't have thought before. But to do that we need to make a strong, stable business first.
And what do you think the future of apps is? I mean, there's a couple of arguments that have been put forward. I've come across that HTML5 means that really apps may be redundant in the future, in that you'll be able to play games directly through your web browser.
Yeah, I can see the kind of why some people would say that. Right now, HTML5 I think isn't quite there yet, but at some stage, like apps themselves have become like synonymous with programs, and people use them interchangeably. And in the same way, probably it will be a case with HTML5 that it will become synonymous and interchangeable with apps and programs, all in the same. They'll be seen as the same thing essentially, rather than one killing off the other.
Okay, all right, that's great. If people want to find out more about Troll Inc., what's your Twitter handle, and what's your website?
Yeah, we're on Twitter, we're troll_inc, and on our website is troll-inc.com.
Okay, and it would be remiss of me with your surname not to ask you, as a Celt, whether Andy Murray is a Scot or whether he's British.
Scot.
He's a Scot, is he? Proud Scot. But you're Irish. What does it matter to you?
No. Well, I'm part Scottish too.
Okay, Jim, thanks for joining us. There you have it, Jim Murray of Troll Inc., developing apps for the masses. Not a keen advocate of the lean startup model. He's just going by his gut, really, developing what he wants as he goes along, trying to build a sustainable organization here in Derry. We're going to be interviewing more founders throughout the day. I think we've got 7 lined up, so do tune in, and we'll be back very soon.